everyone. I'd like to welcome you to your orientation class. On behalf of myself, Dr. Rappy, and the entire team here at Thrive Functional Wellness Center, we want to welcome you to our program. We feel so honored and blessed to be part of your wellness journey. And so what I'm going to do today is you received your binder. You received 2 sections in your binder. I just want to briefly go through it and kind of show you what the next steps are for you, okay? Where I always like to start is at the very cover of your book. This is really important. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. This is really important because our program, you're going to be developing new habits. You're going to be making new choices. And it's really important that you don't focus on what got you here today, because you are here where you are right now, but you're going to focus on the next steps, where you're going, moving forward. The other thing on your binder as well, in order to have a permanent change of action, you must have a permanent change of mind. This is really, really important. We believe that what's happening here in your mind really affects almost everything that you do. So you guys are ready? Let's go ahead and go through a little bit of the binder. You got 2 sections. The first section is a lot of educational information, okay? During this program, we're going to be giving you educational information, and so even though you may not think you have thyroid or cholesterol or diabetes, it's very important that you still read through it. Read the emails that we're going to be sending you, because you're going to find that everything works together. You may have come here for 1 or 2 things, but your body and the hormones and the balancing, everything works together. So please read the educational information that we have in here for you, okay? We also have a great section on what's functional medicine. Why is that important to read? Well, that's literally the foundation of everything that you're going to be doing, okay? So it's really important to learn about that. So that's what the first section is. So go ahead and read through it. If you ever have any questions, just let us know. So now I want to go to the very first section in the book, the getting started. The first thing is where it says, here's what you can expect. What you have to realize is you're going to be making different choices. You didn't come to us to continue doing what you're doing, because if not, you wouldn't have invested in a program. So it's very important that you realize you have to be patient and loving with yourself as you're going through and making these new choices, okay? You're going to be creating new habits, you're going to be reading labels, and you're going to be becoming a conscious eater. I think that's really, really an important one. You're not just going to be randomly eating the food that's around and grabbing things anymore. You're really going to be aware and conscious of what you're going to be eating, okay? Very important. So I want you to go to page 13, and let's start here. We want you to try this cranberry drink. Very, very important to have all of the ingredients, okay? You need to have your spring water, your filtered water, organic unsweetened cranberry juice. What's important about this, and you'll see it in the pictures, is when you're looking at the labels, we don't want you just reading the nutrition facts where it says sugar and sodium and calories. Everything has calories. Everything has natural occurring sugar. What we're looking at is the added ingredients. So I want you to turn the label around, just as what we have pictured here. And I want you to see what are the other ingredients. This is where they hide the chemicals, the preservatives, and the added sugars, okay? This particular cranberry juice that I have here, it literally just says organic cranberry juice, literally. You can find this exact same brand and you'll look at the label and it'll have added pears and apples and sugar. So this is where you really have to become mindful, okay? We're going to be moving away from packaged foods because we want you eating whole foods, real foods, like your proteins, your fruits, your vegetables, your nuts, your seeds, and your oils. But there's going to be plenty of occasions where you're going to need to buy something that's packaged, okay? And so this is an example of the cranberry drink that you're buying that's in a package, in a bottle. You need to know how to read the labels, what you're looking for. And I know I have a lot of people who ask me, well, what are the different things that I should be looking for? What should I be avoiding? Well, let's just say, like in the cranberry drink, if it has anything else listed, that's what you want to avoid. There's so many different names for sugars, so many different names for the added chemicals, preservatives. You just want to know you want to stay away from all of them. You'll add your organic lemon juice to it. You can use a fresh lemon, and then your organic apple cider vinegar. Please make this drink very, very important. It's really great for your immune function. Starts to get in there with your kidneys and your bladder. Really a great drink. We'd like for you to have around 8 ounces of it in the morning, the afternoon, and before dinner. Easiest thing is to make a really big picture of it, okay? Make a big picture, and then you can drink some all during the day as well. So let's say you're out and about, you're very busy, you can fill up a big water bottle with it, and then even if you add water during the day to dilute it is fine. It's really a great, great drink, and we want you to try it. It does say optional, because I want you to try it. If you don't love it, for some reason you're not able to tolerate it, you can always add liquid stevia, okay? And this is a great product. You do want to find the liquid, not the crystals, because the liquid stevia is one of the purest forms of it. You can add that to taste as well. So continuing on in your book, page 13, we're going to talk a little bit about fruit. I know we all love our fruit, right? But not all fruit is created equal. What's the difference? It's the sugar levels. You have those that are high in glycemic index, which means they're high in glucose, high in fructose, high in sugar, and ones that are lower. So we really want you to focus on the fruits that are lower. So for example, your berries, your orange, your apples, your kiwis, those you can have a serving of every day. And a serving is having a whole apple, a whole kiwi, a handful of berries. You can add it to your shake in the morning. But then the other fruit that are really high in sugar, like your banana, your mangoes, your grapes, your pineapple, you want to try to avoid those, okay? As we walk through this program, we teach you about your food, and we put things in 2 categories. One category is what you can eat on a daily basis, and the second category is what is more of a treat. And the fruits that are higher in glycemic index go into a treat. And this is for everyone, not just diabetics, okay? If you are a diabetic, we will talk to you very specifically about your fruit intake during the program, but we'll talk about that after we've done your blood work. So I want you to go to the next page, and that's dietary transition. This is the work that you're going to be doing. This is where you're going to be focusing for the next 4 weeks. This is really, really important. And let me give you some big picture ideas of what transition is. Basically, this is your preparation for detox, okay? Your transition, we have it laid out here at 4 weeks. Sometimes people can do it a little less just because they've already removed some foods. But the goal is at the end of transition that you're going to start detox. The beautiful part of transition is it's really where you're doing the harder work in removing foods, adding foods, but it's also the part where you're not being perfect. You're not having to worry about cheating because you're moving through a transition stage, okay? This is where everyone starts our program. So each week you are removing foods. There's a whole list here of foods that you're removing. What's very important as you remove something is you need to bring something new in. You need to replace it. So for example, when you're going to take out your coffee, let's say you have 3 cups of coffee every morning and you're weaning yourself down. Well, if you're sitting there maybe reading the newspaper or looking through the news on your computer in the morning, maybe replace that hot coffee with another hot beverage. Maybe have a nice herbal tea, okay? But you just don't want to just sit there going, oh, where's my coffee, okay? So the replacing part is very important. So again, there's 2 steps to transition. We'll go through week by week what you're removing, but then it's also what you're adding. And I really feel that what you're adding is a little harder than what you're removing. It may not seem like that at the beginning. We want to make sure that you're having enough protein and vegetables with each meal. And this is laid out really well in the book. You'll see the following page has a list that shows you, we want you to have 30 grams of protein at each meal. Yes, that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you can call it meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, depending on what your schedule is. And 30 grams of protein is around the size of a chicken breast. So yes, we want you to have that again for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can have things like a protein shake. Whatever protein powder you use, you want to make sure that you have at least the 30 grams of the protein in the shake. So again, with week 1, you're going to be adding your protein to each of your meals, as well as adding your vegetables. And when we say servings, it's not so much that I want you to weigh your veggies, we just want you to have a nice variety. One thing that I love to do with my vegetables is to roast them. So I'll get out my sheet pan and I'll cut up Brussels sprouts, maybe my broccoli, you can have onions and carrots, and put olive oil on there and some sea salt. And it's fantastic. Put it in the oven and roast it. So much good flavor. Now you've done a couple things. Now you have 2, 3, 4 types of vegetables. You also have extra that you can use tomorrow, the next day for your lunch, or even to add to your dinner. So that's what we're going to be doing each week. So again, to recap, week 1, you're increasing your protein and your vegetables with each meal. You are removing your caffeine and your artificial sweeteners. But stevia, liquid stevia, is okay. Now again, if you drink 5 cups of coffee, if you drink like 5 Cokes or sodas during each day, it's going to take you time. You're not going to be done with them by day 2, okay? It might take you a couple of weeks to actually wean off of that much coffee and artificial sweeteners, because you don't want to have that crazy caffeine headache. And the same thing with the sugars, you're going to find that they're very addictive, and you can also get those same crazy headaches. So wean off of it slowly, okay? Going into week 2, again, you're working on adding protein and vegetables to each meal. And with this week, you're removing your gluten, your corn, sugar, and fruit juice. Now, you can have your cranberry juice, okay? When we're talking about fruit juice, we mean the orange juice, the apple juice. They are so full of sugar, they're worse for you, actually, than having a soda. So we want you to slowly remove those. When we say removing sugar, sugar is also hidden in everything, from your salad dressings to your seasonings. So that can also take you a little longer than just week 2 to remove everything. What we always suggest is, if you find you're using a product that has all these chemicals and additives to it, you have a couple things you can do. We don't like to be wasteful. You can either finish it, and then when you're done, don't replace it. If you need to throw it away, if you need to donate it to someplace, that's all your choice. But you just want to be very mindful of what you're eating, okay? So again, fruit juice, your sugar, corn, I'm talking about fresh corn, and I'm talking about corn tortillas. The goal during transition, again, is to prepare for detox. And we are removing foods that people have high sensitivities to, and then which leads us to gluten. Gluten is really, really bad for our intestines. It breaks down and creates leaky gut, and we don't want that. Your gluten is in obvious places like your breads, your pastries, but it's also hidden in a lot of different foods like your salad dressing. So at this point, we really want you moving into having your olive oils and balsamic vinegar dressings. So week 3, again, you're increasing your vegetables, you're increasing your protein intake, and I do mean your wild fish. You can have your grass-fed ground beef, your organic chicken, organic turkey. Make it interesting. It shouldn't be boring. And make sure that you're seasoning with your herbs and your spices. Very, very important. This week, you're removing your grains, your white potatoes, soy, dairy, and alcohol. So let's talk about alcohol. Some people, if you're drinking 5, 6 glasses of wine, you may want to start on week 1 and slowly wean yourself off of that. And again, we're just weaning off for detox. Some of these things we do bring back after detox. That's usually a question that people have about alcohol. Your dairy products. I can tell you, it's pretty amazing. Most people who stop eating dairy, and I mean your cottage cheese, your yogurt, your hard cheese, your milk, as soon as they stop eating them and ingesting them, they start to feel so much better because it's really high in inflammation. It causes so much inflammation in our bodies. And you may not always feel the inflammation. Some people feel it in their hands, in their shoulders, but the inflammation that's going on inside, we want to eliminate that. It's very, very important. Your white potatoes, no white potatoes, but you can have sweet potatoes. And then your grains, we do remove your rice, your quinoa, all grains. At this point, we're not having any gluten, any pasta, any breads. We've removed all those. So this is where it's really important when you build your plate. Some people are used to having kind of a starchy rice with their meat and their veggies. You want to build your plate so it looks different now. I like to have my protein on one side, and maybe you have like half of an avocado. Is a wonderful, really good, healthy fat, and then you have your assortment of vegetables. So this is going to take time. This is why you have to be loving and patient with yourself. I don't expect you to eat like this right away. We are sharing with you lots of recipes, lots of ideas along the way. Week 4, you're basically into the home stretch, getting ready for detox. This is the week that you're removing your eggs, tomatoes, shellfish, and legumes. What's really important about this is you need to know once you finish detox, the first thing we bring back actually are your eggs, your tomatoes, and your shellfish. We want to see if you have any food allergies. And what's amazing about removing them, going through the detox process, bringing them back, is your body is now resensitized. It's going to tell you what it likes and what it doesn't like. The key is listening. So now you've walked through each of the weeks, you know what you need to remove, you know what you need to add, okay? There's a lot of tips on here. Slowly wean yourself off of any challenge foods. This is really, really important. We're not calorie counting. We're really not portion controlling as well, okay? And be loving and patient with yourself. Another piece that's very important to our program is our coaching. We are here to help you. If you need to reach out by phone, if you ever need to get in touch with us at a time maybe we're not open, shoot us over an email. I have the emails come to my phone and we try to answer them as soon as we can. If you have not heard back from me within 24 hours, unless it's a Sunday, please assume I haven't received your email because we're really good at answering. You have to have realistic expectations. Transition is just that. It's a transition. Once you get to detox, and I'll give you a little hint about detox, is when we're going to be cleaning, healing, and repairing your intestines, your kidneys, your liver. It's a wonderful time, and I really believe you've done the harder work is the transition in preparing for the detox, which will happen after transition. We're also working on making sustainable habits. This is a new lifestyle. So in creating a new lifestyle, you're going to be moving away from a lot of old habits. So again, you need to be really loving and patient with yourself during this process. Another piece that's really important is you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have great days. The most wonderful thing is every day is a new opportunity to get it right. I love that. I have great days, I have not so good days. We're all human. Okay, and this is a very human program, and we're looking to make this in a sustainable lifestyle. So be very loving with yourself. And please make sure to review the page after the transition that goes through the different proteins, the different vegetables, the different herbs and spices, and your healthy fats. Your healthy fats are very, very important. The list of the avocados, all the coconut oils, the coconut milk, very important. And I have a great section on healthy swaps. So if you're used to eating one thing, we have some really great healthy swaps. So please look to your book for that. Again, remember, this is just a path to wellness. This is just step 1. We are so excited to be working with you. You need to set yourself up for success. And what does that look like? You need to plan. These things aren't just going to happen on their own. Okay, I go to the grocery store every week. I go usually Saturday, maybe Sunday, and I usually have a pretty good list in front of me of the different proteins and vegetables. I make sure to buy enough for the week. Setting yourself up for success is so important. If not, you're setting yourself up for failure. And so it's very important to stock your fridge, stock your pantry with the foods that you're going to be eating all week. The other tip that I like to do is whenever I'm making any sort of protein, any sort of meat for dinner, I always make enough for the next day. So I might, if I'm grilling, I love to barbecue, I love to grill, and I'll have steaks and chicken, maybe I have some shrimp. Now I have enough meat for a few days. This is really important, especially for those of you who work. Okay, lunch, you're not running home and baking a chicken or grilling anything. So what you want to do is you can make little portions of salads ahead of time. You can even get those little containers, you can have them in the fridge, and then you just put on top like a little baggie of your protein, and it could be any of the leftover meats from the day before. But cooking more at every single meal really helps to set yourself up for success. And again, remember, this is about progress, not perfection. Whenever you're having any little challenges, reach out to us. We can't help you unless we know what's going on, so that's really important. And again, this is just your path to wellness. This is just step one. You're starting here. Focus on here. You do see my book's a little bigger than yours. You will be adding to your book as well, but it's one step at a time, okay? After this, after you watch the orientation, what I expect of you is to start looking at what's in your house, what you need to remove, what you can add. Start it right away. There's no need to wait. You can start right now, day one of week one, start weaning yourself off of artificial sweeteners and caffeine. If for some reason you don't drink any of those, you can start with week two, where you're starting to eliminate those foods. Because the big picture transition, again, is removing foods and adding foods. That's what you're doing. And again, our program, what you'll be doing next will be reviewing the blood work with the doctor. Then you're going to do a hormone class, and then we're going to go into detox, where you're going to have a class where we're going to go over all the supplements, and then we go into the nutrition, the exercise, and all that. But what's really important is you stay very mindful and focused on what you're doing today. Thanks so much for listening, and again, welcome to our program. We are so excited to be working with you. This is a journey that we embrace every day, and so we know the ups and the downs, and we're so excited to be working with you. Take care.